Bum-ba-dum. Alright. I'm gonna do something that's special to me today, which might involve taking my dachshund out of here. She's obsessed with, she thinks there's a bird in here and there's not. But I want to make a gift for, my grandmother, Betty Rash. She, was a nurse, and this was her hat back in the 50s. I mean, it's amazing what these people did. It's all linen that's just starched and then has this wrap that goes around it. The wrap has a black felt that goes over top of it, but it's so old that the felt fell off. But I'm gonna capture it in black, so I normally wouldn't share this part, but I want to capture the whole thing and make a video for her, so she not only has the piece, she has the actual making of the piece. So my thought is I'm going to get this at a slight angle so you can actually see the bumps. For me, it looks right, and then draw this in here, and then I'm going to put a red cross behind it to kind of symbolize nursing. I hope it turns out well. Yeah, her birthday's coming up, so I want to be able to give it to her for a present. Let's see how this goes. Like I said, this isn't super interesting because it's just mostly me drawing and you can't even see everything, so we'll see how this goes. Alright. We want this about here. Go with these rough sketch lines first. Alright, I'm going inside. Come on, Iggy. Let's go. Go. I can't put up too big. You're too upset. Oh, she's pissed. Alright, now my dachshund's pissed at me because she wants to be out here obsessing. Back to here. Go straight up. Give it the wing. Come back, follow the same curve. Back across. Straight along the front. We'll suck into that. This, for the sake of my sanity, is going to bubble up, come across, and then about here, we'll do our second, which folds up, and inside of here, I'm going to have to do that longer. So it'll have just a tip that comes out. Is that even worth doing? Yes, it's worth doing. We go a little bit bigger and more of a down angle. And then from this side, I want to go up a little bit more. The fun part about using an actual things upside down, so I'm accidentally hitting the buttons just where the wires ended up. Should put this up on there we go. That's what I want more, so it's a totally different angle, but that's what I want. I think I can keep the base. The angle is totally different when you're looking almost straight across at it, which is good because that's what we want. So this will go straight up, cover our 3/4 with that, straight line across. Amazing how straight that line is. And then a sharp turn, and then back to here where it goes straight down. It's amazing that they actually worked in these. And this part, let's run this a little bit more. Lovely. Legitimately, I keep looking at this as I'm drawing it, and it looks like a VR helmet. Like I said, I'm just sketching this in, and then I'll go back and solidify the lines. So from this angle, this needs to go up higher. This is legitimately why I don't live stream these, because it's a lot of me just erasing and trying and failing and erasing until I get it exactly how I want it. Okay. And this bubbles up this way and then goes hard down. I need to make that a little taller. It comes out to about here. Yeah, I'm going to need to make it taller. And this side will bubble up also. Kind of pinches it a little bit. And then we're going to go up a little bit taller. Keep our rule of thirds. Kind of run that into there. May have gotten too tall with this front part. Yep, it's almost thirds, and then the band goes like right at the middle of this to create those thirds. This will need to go back further. And it's a hard angle. Kind of funny, it's rigid and soft. Just like a good nurse. This bubbles, put a little bit in, and then links up with this. And we'll go across. And this is much longer. And from this angle, you don't see the back part. The history that this hat has is pretty amazing to me. The things this lady did. She's an amazing person. I absolutely adore her. She's given so much. Been there. Raised 3 pretty amazing guys without losing who she was. She's the person who I got all this stained glass from, so it is important to me to give her something from it. I was hoping to do a couple more pieces to get my soldering better before I give it to her, because she knows what she's doing. So if it looks, she'll notice all the errors that I make. Okay, this needs to run this way. I'm going from a top angle instead of a side angle. This whole thing needs to flatten out. I had the right shape, just the wrong dimension. I need to go back further out that way. Keep our thirds. It's kind of amazing once you start getting into this, like where you see different rules of art, that they're really developed from our environment and what we do. The human eye likes to see things certain ways. So as we create things, even nursing hats, we create them following these concepts. And it might be a structure thing also, which makes sense. A little more. Yeah, the idea of being able to mimic my perspective of this hat is pretty amazing. I was fortunate enough to be able to use this as part of this process. And as I've pointed out before, it's not going to be perfect. It's going to be my interpretation, which is art in its purest form. It is not supposed to be a duplicate. It's not supposed to be a picture. It's supposed to be a perception. And that's what we pay artists for, is they perceive the world differently than the rest of us. Every one of them, slightly different. And it's a reflection of their background, what they see, what they don't see. All of it's pretty crazy. Okay, that's supposed to roll that way. Go third, 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 third. I may have gone a little bit too tall. Over this way a little bit, so I quit doing that. So if that's a third and that's a third, I need to either go taller with this bottom part or shorter with this. I think I'm going to go taller with this bottom part. Pretty close to an inch. Pretty close to an inch, so we'll do that about there. And then pretty close to an inch, we'll set you about here. See how that looks? It might look too big. That'll do. I think I need to go down a little bit. Or up a little bit. Split the difference, see how that looks. Sketching for me is similar to what they teach you to do with like cubing, squaring. Gives me a chance to assess view before you get too far into it and realize your proportions are off. So I just sketch it in and rough it, and they slowly start to come together. It's a long process, and it's not very exciting, but it's my process, and it seems to be what works for me. Okay. Back a little further with that. These wings are crazy how far they go back. Kind of reminds me of a nun's hats. They got those big wings on them. Is this the same time period when cars had big wings on them? Not quite. Almost too much. I think my first line was right. And this almost folds in a little bit. So I'm trying to round it out like it's a tube, but it's not. It actually comes in. Go straight down here. Then it folds as the pressure gets to it. Okay. Still got to go back further with this. Literally just a bunch of gray that I'm erasing to try to get the lines that I want. I would have thought this would be the thing. It's like the guitar pick on my daughter's guitar. I feel like this is a big thing to identify this particular hat versus other ones. There we go. That's the line I wanted. Okay, So it pinches in, rolls back up. We've got this across. That's fine with me. Do just a little bit outside to show the bulge. This side's actually starting to look right. The proportion looks right to me. And then this line doesn't fit perfectly in the middle. It is about where I put this. I would have never known though that these were black. I would have thought they were red. Did a lot of research on nursing, trying to figure out the right symbol that I wanted to show for this piece, and ultimately I came down to what meant the most, captured the time period. Nursing's evolved quite a bit over the years. And then I'm going to use a black patina on this. This will be my first black patina. I've been wanting to, so we're going to use the black backed copper. So that it will flow together. And then this isn't necessary, but I like to keep my sketch once I've got it pretty well down, and then throw another piece of paper over top of it for my Sharpie. That way I've got the original, and I can decide what I wanted to go back to. Yeah, I like this. It does roll a little bit though back here. It isn't a fine point because it's made out of that linen. Okay. There's some other fine details, like it's got this fold over where it's seamed at, and I don't know how I capture that without doing an extra stripe, which seems like a lot. I think this is pretty solid. We'll see. Amazing, that hat. It's like almost 70 years old. I didn't expect that I would be using objects to draw. I kind of figured I would use a lot of templates when I was starting, but my wanting to put, it's so much time and love that you put into all this that I realized that I want to capture things that have meaning to me instead of them just being something. Nice crisp line. We're starting to get outside of the realm of sketching and into more solid lines here. Pressing down more solid. Getting one nice arc out of everything. This gives me a chance here. I adjusted this just a little bit to capture what it looks like on the actual hat. Yeah, I really want to do the tube on the outside, but it's actually pinched in. You know what? This is too big and I'm not measuring. Starting to learn with these that I really like using this triangle. It's small, it whips around, it's easy to grab. I really don't do lines longer than this anyways, and if I do, I'll just do 2 of them. Maybe I like it because it's also clear, so I can see a bit more. Nice crisp lines. Seems like something a nurse would like. Give it a little roll here. And then this may actually need to come down a little bit. Yeah. Follow the same angle as up here. Should cause that to bubble down more. I really try to use the big eraser because these little erasers run out so quick. But I'm more accurate with the little eraser, so I default towards using it in these tight little spots. Nope. There we go. So straight, and then we start bending around this corner. But it's a tight bend. It's like drawing a piece of history. It's almost too far forward though. I was so confident on that line. I'm gonna have to go back and erase it. That one might not be right either. It comes up to a peak. Almost pushes it forward and then sucks it back. And this back part's gonna go down a little bit more. As I said, it's my perspective of this, but I want to do the best job I can of capturing it, what I actually see. Goes out a little bit more. Man, this line has changed so much. I think I'm right here, but it needs to push. And maybe I need to change this angle a little bit. No, I think these 3 need to line up straight. If I need to adjust, I'll adjust on something else. I keep hitting this with my elbow. I usually have this set up on my table over here, but I didn't want to move my camera, so I thought I could just move it up here. Always find little things. Let's go down a little bit. Four and a half. So if this is more or less 3 and 3 and 3, I'm still off. A lot of drawing, adjusting. This is definitely the least. It's fun for me because it's so creative, but as far as watching, it's more of a, I don't know. It's not something I like sharing. As I said, I want to because I want to capture this. Granny saw the video I did on my abstract 2, and she absolutely loved it. She thought it was the coolest thing ever, so I wanted to make another one for her. But a little more detailed. I almost just recorded this and didn't stream it. But I figured, why not? Yeah, that comes down quicker. And this goes up a little faster. I thought I had this right 5 minutes ago, but I keep finding things that I want to adjust. I also like that these kind of line up. This does go a little bit deeper, but not by a lot. I don't think I'd ever get it perfect. This lady. Do the best I can. Couldn't imagine being a nurse during this time period. I couldn't imagine being a nurse at all. Such a hard job. Needed. I got friends that are nurses, and especially during the COVID stuff, it was like, I couldn't even imagine. It was so hard on everybody. But I appreciate all of them. Okay, this is a little too harsh here. Let's go with a little softer line on here. Agrees a little bit more with this bend over here. So if I was to call it an angle, I'd call it that. And I would put this about like this. That seems right. I drew it and it seemed like it wanted a little bit more. I also think I may have gone a little too straight on it. It's a fold, so it should fold. Slowly just scraping these off and getting them to where I want them. It was great until I realized that I liked it better where it was. Yeah, I wanted to go with these harsh, strong lines like this one up here, which I think should be that way down here, but it kind of takes a bit of the softness out of it with it being so straight. It's not metallic, it's not plastic, it's supposed to be linen. I'm putting them back in. I keep wanting to like match this angle over here, and it's not because it cuts in. And even weirder because of the way it pinches. It cuts in at different spots like this does over here. So it mimics it, it's just tapered in. And I think that's a important part of what makes it different than other hats. Not a hard edge over here. We want this corner. This side, we're going to bubble it out a little bit more. We want this is perfectly fine. Okay. Want it to go up a little bit, and then this is gonna start up and then bubble back. Many times I thought I had a final line on this. Well, it takes a little bit to adjust perspective. Adjusting in one spot means you gotta adjust in another one. Doing these templates by hand is one of the crazier things of stained glass. Flies right back into so many other things, but it's its own creature. I love art. I'm fortunate to have the time to try to hone my craft a little bit more and spent a lot of time having to do things I didn't want to, because that's the way the world works. You have what you do and who you are. What you do for a living, where you work and make your money, is not who you are. Who you are is what you do with your time. And there's so many great opportunities for that. I'm going to drag this up just to give it the perspective that it's deeper than it actually is. Because it's pretty deep on this hat. Okay, that's not bad. Alright, let's do a cross. Oh. Sake of sanity, let's use math. Always taught to start at 1 inch for some reason. That will go about 2 inches, put 5 in the 7. Maybe 3 inches just for fun. So we'll go 4.5 and 7.5. See how big this is, because we need a square. So that's 4, which means we'll need where did I have this lined up at? A random spot. Good job, Corey. Let's go. Okay. So that gives us 8 inches. And then we want to hit the middle of this again. So it's 7. 7 minus 4 would be 3, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 and 11. Three and 11. And we'll do one more down here. Three and 11. And I'm lining this all up and gridding it out so that I can see the how we're gonna capture this in the middle of it. Is it too big? Is it too small? I think it might be too big. We'll see. Okay. So we've got our 8 inches. Split that into 1, 2. Just mark it. Inches. I'm just gonna grid line this whole thing and then figure out what proportion I want, and then make my cross out of that. What's this one? And then you can't decide, graph it out. Why not? I think I've got the size I want. Seems like a good size. Okay. Got that direction. Now let's go this direction. 8 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. More important thing for me is that I got this right in the middle. I know the rule of thirds and whatnot would suggest like not, but I want the cross to be right behind the hat. We're still just doing this in pencil because I've got to come back and do it over top with another piece of paper so that I retain this even if I screw up. And this is going to be a one of a kind because I'm not going to make another one of these. This is only for Granny. Sure, hopefully I can get this done in time. Okay, so I have this drawn out. If I was to go I don't have to go one wider than that. That should be good. I mean, one on each side. Not this. So we'll go. That look about like what we're thinking there. Oh shoot. Went too far on this one too. So that's 2 out on each side over here. 2 out on each side over here. Man, I'd like to go. Of course I do. I think I'm going to take these and cut them in half. I think that's the size I want. So, let's do our marks. What do we got? It's not metric. So, we want to line them up. It's 1 inch. I want to go 1/2 inch here, 1/2 inch here. Yep. Well, that's not straight. It's just this one. I wonder how I messed that up. Four. Use the wrong mark on that. It's not much, but it's enough that I noticed it. So go back to this. This on the 1. And I'll go 3.5. 6.5. Do the same here. Started at 1. Three and a half, 6.5. Three and a half, 6.5. Oops. Okay. Somehow my ridiculous cross ended up following the rules of thirds, even though I didn't plan on it. Let's get some of this erased so I can actually see. We'll leave the outer parts there so that we can follow our lines. Let's leave them on here real light. see how our perspective looks. I think it might still be a little too big. Like if I was to go in this far, would it take away from it? Eight by 8. This is about 3. Grab another piece of paper. So the paper I'm drawing on is cardstock. It's much cheaper than what I've been using for like acrylic paper. I've got paper for doing pretty much the same thing on small scales for big paintings, so I can get my composition right and get it flowing exactly how I want before I do the real thing. I think this could work. Just looking at it through here. I think I should make this hat a little bit bigger so that it agrees with these lines. It shouldn't be too hard to do. Just take my whole ratios and go, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch bigger. Yep. We'll see how that works. Let's do the outline first. And then we'll go back and get the rest of it. Or not. I may look back at it and decide that it's not what I was looking for. I think it is what I was looking for. ratios are just off by a little bit for the flow of this cross, and I want it to be this size. So back to it. We've got our light sketch new outline. Now we'll solidify this. Lord knows. I think I got this. I get in my own head and want it to agree with something. Okay. Back to it. Sketch these in a little more. My puppy is very upset. I think I mentioned earlier she was convinced there's a bird in here. There's not. Our car makes a bird chirp sound when it locks. And she's heard it, and she's very convinced that there is a bird hiding behind my glass. So she's obsessively over there digging and scratching and just generally being a dachshund. So I put her inside, and she thinks that's the worst thing I've ever done. Yeah, sure hope Granny likes this. She's a sweet lady. I don't think she'd tell me if she didn't. She's been a huge supporter of me getting back into art. She is super talented. We've got several of her paintings up in our house. Definitely fantastic. She's trained classically in a lot of this, where I just stumble my way through it. readjusting these ratios, either with it being a little bigger, it shows my errors a little bit more, or I just seen it differently than I did previously, but I feel like that's too tall. I want hard edges, we want rounded edges, like it's linen being folded over, not plastic or metal or glass. Just really the illusion I'm trying to get away from is that it's glass. I want it to feel warm, but yet precise, like a nurse. And that's probably part of it. This is too far up. Let's see if I can't use this bottom line. Come on. Clicky pencils are great when they work. Not a fan of stopping to sharpen. It's great if you needed that much detail, but I just need to sketch it in and not be distracted. I get the cardstock instead of just standard paper because it's thicker, so I can abuse it, and it will hold together, deal with my massive amount of sketching as I try to plan these out. There's a lot of math and adjusting and all of that could lead to ripping your paper or anything else that would make me start all over. So I'm not a fan of starting all over. I want to continue to develop. This will need to go that way. Actually, if I go like this, it will align with the lines on the cross, which will give it more of a similarity. Make it look like they should flow together. Except that goes out a little bit more. So we'll stand this back up. So that spot looks better. Yes. But it's not as much of a visor. I think I'm actually going to draw up this side just a little bit more. Give it more of the illusion that the front is flat. And then it rounds. That made a big difference. I almost do a better job of erasing a straight line than I do drawing one. Once again, though, this was supposed to be felt, so my little non-perfect hand drawings may help with this. I think this needs to agree with it, though. So I either need to suck up this side a little bit or drop this down, either way. Do a little bit of both. Sat around and talked with Granny several times about her experiences as a nurse. She delivered babies. Many things that weren't quite as joyful, but she's always been there for people, always been part of her community, and it shows. People absolutely love her, gravitate towards her. She's loved. I think it's going to be her 94th birthday. Which is pretty amazing. I'm alright with this. This is about the only spot that I wish I would have done a little different. And it goes up more and then curves back. I keep trying to match it to this angle over here, and it's not a match because it pinches in. I need to match this with the angles below it. That might be part of my problem. was one of those, as I erased it, I was like, nope, I liked it better the other way. Maybe I'd throw in one of these. If I do that, I feel like I'll have to do it for all of it. Let's see. Does that help? Problem is, it definitely helps, but it's gonna be solder, so it's gonna take away. I think that's a no. If I had the time, I would love to work on my shading and highlighting with the new paints I just got, but I think that's a different project than this. I'd like to do it on something that didn't mean so much to me. So it looks like it pinches in. That's right. This flows off that just right. Should I give this a little bubble? Okay. Makes it look a little more papery instead of so tight. Or sorry, so rigid. The difference between trying to mimic starched linen, starched enough that it's still perfectly in place 70 years after use, I guess 50 years after use, but I like it. Let's redo these. Go back through and erase all this. Do it before we darken our lines. That piece is going to be fun. Definitely a solid piece in my opinion. The bandsaw really helps me with some angles that I haven't gotten super great at. Pretty good. But I just come across something that just, it's either my timing or my style just needs to get better. Kind of hoping I'd get one of those Russian bots on here so it would up my viewer count. That one the other day. Don't know what they're doing, but they're welcome to help me. You have successfully gotten to see somebody grid an entire piece of paper just to erase it all. Another funny part about art is it's not necessarily what you see, but the intention. Interesting to develop composition out of thought. Just go with it. It's part of what I really liked about doing abstract pieces is that, unlike this, where you're trying to follow a strict format, you're really just working with those theories and feelings and what you want to do. So when it comes to stuff like this, it's easier to figure it out. Because you're not bound to those laws that you create in your own head, like the sky needs to be blue, or that I need to, I don't know, classic Bob Ross, I need to go darker as I come to the front to create depth. It's true, but in certain circumstances, you need to adjust that. Be willing to go with what the piece is telling you to do. Or you can fight it, but in my opinion, that's kind of like standing on the train tracks, expecting to be able to take on a train. Like, step off the tracks, man. Make it easier. Why are you fighting it? There, let's go through, darken these up, and then we'll switch over to another piece of paper and Sharpie this bad boy. Although I'm going to be so sad when I use this again. I like this thing. I always forget to use it. Okay. Shavings all over. It's nice to be able to see all the way through on both sides, especially when you start using the Sharpie and you can know exactly when to stop. What's up?
Are you being bad?
She's an obsessive little rodent that makes a lot of noise in the background while I'm trying to film stuff.
Hey, buddy, you gotta get back in bed.
I decided this one because it was for Granny. I wanted to film the creation part.
Oh, cool. Am I interrupting your filming?
I got it on mute. It's not like anybody's actually watching. And when I go back through, I'm just going to do this at ×8 with no volume and voice over it.
I made it with the pediatrician.
Oh, speaking of, I gotta call the vet.
Oh, for me, yeah. Yeah, they had a 415 at a level, so I thought. They just,
Talk to them about what our concerns are and see what they think.
yeah, and also like if we need to get into an OP and we can't get in anywhere for a year, I bet there's ways to maybe happen faster.
Yeah,
Because, so,
agreed. You want to see?
I do. Help me be on the video.
It comes to right here.
Okay.
You can see it right there or over there. But Kemi let me borrow Granny's.
Oh,
So I've
cool.
been sketching that. And I more or less got it proportioned wise. I think I might still need to pop it just a little bit, but pretty close. And then drawing the crust so that it was the right size. I ended up having to up everything by about 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 an inch to get it to fill in. And I could go a little bit larger, but I think that's about right.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I had to grid out everything to get the parts you would love. To run the math of this and how they all flow together. You know how this almost looks like it's like the fifth part of it, like, and then having it all squared up and stuff. So it's a lot of sketching and numbers and stuff, and then back to it. So
She'll love it.
I'm sure she will. She's a sweet lady.
It honestly doesn't matter what it is. She'll love it.
Well,
So, but I think it's really thoughtful.
yeah. So maybe we'll see. I'm gonna take a break, call the vet and whatnot, and then